Alex Antic, you've been in the news over the summer months, of course, because you've been speaking out against vaccine mandates and lockdowns and so forth. How's that campaign going for you?
Look, it's going pretty much the way it was before. It seems to be just a small number of voices shouting about an entirely critical issue in our country's history, which is a little bit frustrating, I have to say. But that doesn't mean it's not, once again, ripe for the contest of ideas that things like you and Nicholas were talking about before, and we should be talking about them, because I think there are some fundamental questions in this country about some of these issues that are just going through to the keeper, to use a summer cricket term, I suppose. So we march on.
Yeah. When did you ever envisage a society in Australia that you were a part of the government where they would be undermining property rights, for example, by refusing landlords to be able to collect their rents, where you were forcing people to undergo medical procedures in order to retain or to be able to eligible for certain services, or where people would be saying there should be discrimination in the medical system according to how you live your life? These things are anathema to centre-right freedom lovers, and I always thought the Liberal Party was one of those parties.
Well, look, you're right, Corey, and I think all of those things are pretty alarming. They should be anyway, if they're not. Things you talked about there, including this sort of hierarchy of needs in the medical system. We're hearing politicians and others that should know better making comments about if you don't take treatments, then you shouldn't be getting medical care, or you should be paying more for it, or you should be out of a job. All this sort of stuff. It's really, really alarming. And look, I think the creep of big government, that's certainly something that Nicholas and I would disagree with. The sort of the rise of the bureaucratic class in this country. That's something that state parliaments all across the country have handed on a silver platter to our bureaucrats, and of course. They are loving the exercise, in as far as it's building fiefdoms, I think, inside bureaucracies. So there's a trickle-down effect. I get pilloried all the time from and earnest souls in the mainstream media who tell me that I'm being alarmist when I say the drift into social credit-style principles is alarming. Well, we have the home quarantine app here in South Australia, which takes your facial data and your GPS location and then checks in with the health bureaucrats to say if you've been naughty or nice staying at home. That doesn't alarm people, and you can't see the writing on the wall for what might come in future, then we really do have a big problem. I am concerned by the amount of leniency that Australians have given to these fairly draconian measures, and I think that's going to be a massive challenge for us in the coming period to reclaim those and to draw as many of those freedoms back as we can.